Hello everybody, this is the six-sided Ring of Fire and my guide to using your Witch Doctor in 1.0.5. This is all going to be based around a couple passives. I'm going to make this very quick. Grave Injustice isn't necessary. On top of that, you also need to have Gruesome Feast. These two passives combined will allow you to move very quickly, take very little damage, regenerate regardless of your life return stats, and will replenish your mana quickly. Spirit Vessel allows you to cast your spirit-based spells faster, and it gives you a second chance in case you make a mistake. So those are your passives. For your primary, using Splinters. This is kind of an intro build, and this is the first thing to go. I mean, if you don't need the single target damage, you can replace it with something else, like Ghost Bomb or something. But it's all based around bears. This is your highest damage ability, your highest damage potential ability, and it's going to be the core of your gameplay for a long time. Obviously there are exceptions, but this is how I feel you will get the most bang for your buck out of your Witch Doctor. High damage single target ability, high damage AE / single target ability. Now, I use Big Bad Voodoo with Rain Dance to make sure if I'm in a longer elite fight I have plenty of mana. I use Spirit Walk with Honored Guest, which is another one that I like to swap out for Jaunt. Honored Guest is mana return, Jaunt is duration. The duration will give you a little bit more mobility, the Honored Guest gives a little more mana, but I feel like this is a good introductory skill build for a Witch Doctor in 1.0.5. For Soul Harvest I use Vengeful Spirit. This, every time it hits, you get 130 intelligence. That 130 intelligence translates into resist, so it's also giving you defensive stats. It also synergizes well with Gruesome Feast, which gives you 10% of your max mana every time you get a health blow. Now I use Summon Zombie Dogs, and it may not be apparent right off the bat why I use Zombie Dogs, and this is another one that can go, especially if you're playing with other people. You get a little bit of lifesteal. Big deal. They do 9% of your weapon damage. Really nothing to write home about. What they do that is unwritten is that they pull aggro from mobs. So it's very important to have these if you feel that you are you need a little bit more buffer between you and death. Okay, so how does this work? The first step is going to be to Spirit Walk in, then you Soul Harvest, try to hit 5 or more enemies. It does big damage with Vengeful Spirit, so you can also use it as a nuke. And then you're going to be using bears to do the majority of the damage, and you're going to clean up the Poison Dart. Now, when you get into a fight where you need more mana, you can always use your Spirit Walk again, or if it's an elite fight or something, use your Big Bad Voodoo. That'll give you 122 mana per second when you're standing inside the air. Now, Grave Injustice reduces your cooldowns as long as you're within 8 yards plus your pickup radius of the target that dies. Not that you kill, but that dies. So I find it very important to have a Thing in the Deep, or at least 20 yards of pickup radius. A Thing in the Deep, I mean, even if you just want to try this out, you can pick these up for under 100,000 gold. Maybe not a great one, but you can find one to try it out. And if you're on the North American server, that should hold true. So, you're moving around. As soon as you identify a target, you're going to fire your Honored Guest, Spirit Walk Honored Guest, your Big Bad Voodoo. Now you're just spamming bears, things die. You pick up, and you just clean up the rest of your guards. Now, typically, Big Bad Voodoo is off cooldown, or it's on cooldown for a long time, making it kind of less interesting of a spell. But when you pair it with Grave Injustice, you reduce cooldown greatly. That might not have been a great example, being it was an elite right off the bat. What you want to find is a pack like this: Spirit Walk, Soul Harvest, Bears. Now this is on monster power 0. See, I don't have any cooldowns now, so one of my dogs plug the door. They hold aggro, and I'm just going to shoot some bears through, clean up the cards. Now, as you get more comfortable with this, you can start moving faster and faster. as you see, my cooldowns are up, so I'm going to kill all this trash real quick. Stutter stepping in between bears to make sure I pick up all the health globes. Now I'm fighting elites, I'm doing the same thing. Now if I so happen to run out of mana, honored guest, I'm full again. You're full enough. So, as you're moving along, you can use your Vengeful Spirit as a nuke. Use it for increased damage on the rest of your spells. Use it for increased all resist, turn to survivability. Always try to hit the maximum amount of targets, bears, and then clean up the darts. But this isn't really the fastest build if you're at the point where I'm at, where those mobs are just melting. I need to go to a little bit higher monster power to demonstrate the effectiveness. So now, moves up to 3, just so you get a little bit more of a feel for how these fights go. Single target, you clean up the darts. Multiple targets with Vengeful Spirit and bears. If one's left behind, you can kill him with darts. Cooldowns are refreshed. Cast again. Put you back to a wall for maximum bear damage. Back to a wall for maximum bear damage. Now you're moving again. Now, I'm not going to get that shrine because it's always stuff like a goblin when you're trying to. I'm waiting for my cooldowns, hitting as many as possible. Dropping my big bad voodoo. Bears, make sure you're moving to pick up globes if they drop. Pick up all the rares because you're a hoarder. Move on. Now the dogs will give you the ability to back up if need be. Like if I came into this and realized I was in trouble, the dogs will block the door and hold aggro. This is one of the things that makes them especially powerful in Monster in Act 3. These guys cannot hit me. And if they do, I can back up and now I'm getting lifesteal off these dogs. They also set you up for when your cooldowns are ready to go. That's one of the reasons I feel they're very strong. The Gargantuan only holds aggro as long as you aren't in the area. As soon as you do any damage, it's over with the guard. They don't come back to you. Now there are many variations to this build, but this is what I feel is the baseline. That's why when I demonstrate this to people on stream, I typically show this exact build. Because I feel that if you are trying this out for the first time, this is a great place to start. And there are ways to increase the speed, mobility, utility, all sorts of things that you can do by just adding or subtracting a spell here or there. But I feel that that's up to you, and it's the beauty of the class. I mean, as a witch doctor, you can pretty much do whatever you'd like to do, as long as you learn how to utilize it in a way that keeps you alive and moving. So maybe you would like to bring a Gargantuan. Maybe you'd like to bring, you know, Mass Confusion with Paranoia for increased damage, or you'd like to bring, you know, Ghost Bomb instead of darts. But I cover a lot of that on my website. I'm going to put the link in the description below. If you have any comments, please leave them. If you'd like to check out the stream, you can see me on Twitch TV at T6SROF. My website, like I said, is linked below. And I hope this helped.